Okay, now that the battery's out, now that we got half the car taken apart, this 10mm bolt should slip out. A little jingling, and yeah, looks like that holds together the radiator cooling fan assembly, and the radiator for your air conditioning, which is actually kind of a good idea. So now we should be able to slide. Yep, that's gonna come out. I just have to finish taking this one out, and oh yeah, I didn't finish taking this one out. And now this air box is gonna have to come out most likely, because that bolt, I'm pretty sure, is not gonna clear. So that's nice. This is turning into a really nice job. Alright, it's just too tight there. If you had a 1/4 inch ratchet with a 10mm, you could probably do it, but I cannot find a 10mm for my smallest ratchet. So there is a computer module, it looks like here. Bolt here, bolt there, cover, and there you go. Not sure what that's for. I mean, it could be the main computer for the car. It looks like I can flop it out. Let's see. Pretty much just in a waterproof case. Yeah, that may be the car's main computer. I hate touching anything like that on older vehicles when you twist it, because that could mess up a wire that's bad, and then it may never start again. My luck. Yeah, without that goober of wires there, now I can get my 3/8 ratchet in there, I think. Alright, radiator's out. Now we can actually get to what we're trying to. As you can see, there's 2 radiators. One is for the engine, one is for the air conditioning. This is the one we need to get out. There's some strange stuff. It looks like someone has pried on that before. I don't know what that is about. But regardless, we're just throwing a new radiator in. I never could see it leaking because it was so low on coolant, but I was told the hose and radiator need to come out. So there's a little cover. I thought this was some strange type of lock washer, but I was able to just pull it away with my manly fingers, and it looks to me like there's a damn it clip on there, some type of small clip. So I'm going to try and find a pick tool. I think I moved it. I have a little pick tool. I guess that cover just retains this clip so it can't fall off, even though it would have a hard time falling off. If I lose this, it's not good. Looks like it only comes off one way. And I got it. Now we're ready to make a mess, I think, if that's all that holds it on. Yep. Alright, I got the new radiator out of the box, and from a distance it does appear it's the correct radiator. I did not measure it. I'm going to take my tape measure before I stick it in, since it is such a tight fit. there's kind of a little clip holder here for the radiator for the air conditioner. Radiator cap fits, and you just have to transfer the bushings. Should just pop right off. Of course, they don't give you those on the new radiator. Why would they give you all of the stuff you need? I do believe this is why the old one was leaking. It's just kind of deteriorated. Took it out and it just kind of fell apart. So whoever, it got bumped at one point in time, I believe, on top of the radiator. Someone working on the vehicle, that's my guess. Also, there is strange, someone was messing around with it, trying to, I don't know, it's kind of dented on the top there. It's kind of strange. Scratches. Someone was doing something to it at one point. So it may have been leaking there too. There's a gasket that runs all the way around, and it's just crimped together. Another thing to transfer there. There's a seal on it, which I guess we're not going to worry about that because they don't give it to you on the new one. I believe these were supposed to hold the transmission lines in place, but they weren't even being used, so they don't give you that anyways. They did, however, throw in a bag of these guys, which is kind of an adapter, I guess. And then there's extra rubber washers in there. I don't know what they're for, but it did come with those tiny little clips, little new ones there if you can see them, so that's good in case you lose one. Now, how in the world does he get in there? That's a frog. A mummified frog. Like, that was a big frog. Like, how does he even get in there? Why would you go in there? Dummy! Alright. I have slid the new radiator in here. And boy, there's no light. It's like November 16th, I think, and 2:30 in the afternoon, and it's already getting dark out in Minnesota. It's terrible. It's been so cloudy this month. Can you see? No. Dang it, can't even see it. I can see it good, but the camera can't. Alright. This is impossible to film. You need two hands. Alright. To get this air conditioner radiator in, to get any of it in alright, the air conditioner radiator, the one on the back side here, needs to be connected to the engine radiator. And there's a tab on the back. I don't know if I can catch it with the camera, but it's, where is it? I don't even see it. Wait, there it is. Right there. Camera's being dumb though. There we go. And you have to lift it up, and it just rests on it. You just have to make sure you get that in place. And there you go. You gotta do that on both sides. It's kind of a puzzle. Alright, the tab on this side is actually, can we see it? Barely. This one, same as the other side, but there's actually a bolt that goes through this one to secure it. And then we got the two on the top that kind of sandwich everything together. To get this bolt in down here, I just used, let's see, it's a 10 with a little extension by hand, and then you can just turn that by hand, and then you can finish it with the ratchet. Just make sure, I'm gonna put the radiator in its spot where it's supposed to be. These oval holes on the bottom, there's one on each side. That's where the bottom rubbers sit. So make sure that little tab that holds the two radiators together is still in place after monkeying around on the other side. I'd also like to add, for how much I use this stuff, I should be getting a sponsor payment here. LOL. Anyway, it's either this or WD-40, and I just like to use this on brake lines and gas lines under cars, since we have a lot of salt around the area in Minnesota. I like to use it on nuts and bolts and when reassembling to aid. It's going to help the bolts go back into place easier, plus it'll protect them from future rust. Even WD-40 works. Usually it's a little more work to put stuff together than it is to rip it apart. Okay, that bolt way down there is tightened. The radiator is sitting where it is supposed to be, in those holes with those big rubber bushings. I could put these long bolts in now. I think I have to wait for, if I remember right, the cooling fan. These long bolts secure the cooling fan also, so I think I gotta wait. So next I will reinstall these transmission cooling lines. So, alright, I think they just kind of push in hard, and then there's a rubber washer in there. Boy, that went in almost too easy, but I guess there would have been corrosion holding it in place before. And then you just need to use one of the clips, one of these little damn it clips. This should just push on. Of course I can't show you because this one's way out of the way. I think they only go on one way. I don't know if they make a tool for these or not. But I think I need two hands. Otherwise I'm just going to lose the clip. So once you get those tiny little clips on, I guess this is kind of a lock nut. The bottom one's kind of hard to get on, it's in a tough area. But what I do is I'm just kind of trying to turn it. It's almost like it snaps 2 times, and then I turn it a little more to make sure it's on. As long as I'm in here, I am going to try and vacuum out. This looks like salt in here. And yeah, it's not good, because there's probably 3 or 4 bolts underneath there. And there's a hold down, and as I suspected, it is broken. So to fix that, you'd need a new battery tray, I believe. Looks like there's more rust down there, so I will spray a little more fluid film on it, rust protectant. And looks like we caught it in time. They're rusty, but I'll spray a little bit of fluid film on there. I just remembered we got a little bracket with, it's pretty much a self-tapping screw which goes right there. That secures the air conditioning lines to this radiator. It fell off, so it must go back on somehow. I was able to fish it behind from the top. And it's on. I just gotta put the self-tapping screw into the new radiator. Alright, and then you gotta make sure these tabs on the bottom there, they act as bolts. Clips. They just kind of hold it from vibrating. This side is very tight, so you just have to play with it. I think I'll have to get a screwdriver down there to get it in place. There we go, a little persuasion. And the other side is in. Tab on both sides holds the cooling fan in. Cooling fan. Now I think I'm ready to place these 1/4 inch or so. They must be 4 or 5 inches long, probably 4 inches. That goes all the way through the cooling fan assembly, the radiator for the engine, and the condenser for the radiator, or the radiator for the air conditioning. And you can just barely see it. Probably can't on camera, but of course it's not going in, so I'm gonna have to try and play with it a little bit, one on each side. I'm on a plug, and we're getting ready. Might be able to fill it up with antifreeze tonight. Okay, what I got now is the cover hold down for the radiator. Actually, all of it holds all of it in place. Just one bolt on the back side, and this goes on top. There's a little rubber resonator, but it's worn out a little bit, I believe. So what I did, I just cut a little piece of an old soaker hose, and I'm just going to place that around it. Should make it nice and tight. Now I'm ready to reinstall. I guess I better put my computer back in. I guess that'd be the next step. And then reinstall the hose. Alright, it's about my 3rd day of working on this monstrosity. I had everything together the other night. I was only able to get around a gallon of, not even a gallon of coolant into the system, so I don't know what the deal is. Supposedly I'm supposed to be able to get about 3 gallons into it, so a little strange. I did bleed. There's an air bleed screw on the fitting for the thermostat. I did that and still can't get any more into it. And now I see this replacement coolant hose upper that I changed out. It looks like that's not going to work. I mean, all this stuff comes from China, and it seems like it's never just right. So, I don't know. And that was like a $30 hose, too, so yeah, not too happy about that. I gotta put this bracket back, but I'm afraid That's gonna kink it too much. Supposedly this one has a hole in it, but I inspected it and it looks fine to me. So what do I do? I mean, it's already kinked a little bit. It almost looks like just being on there. I don't like that. That bar needs to be back. So I'm gonna lose the hose and put the old one back on. Great.